jobless claims will never be as awesome as Fridays unless they get to zero. But it's because they've been moving in the opposite direction that they're our first topic today on CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus. The U.S. Department of Labor says last week initial jobless claims spiked to 3.28 million. Here's what that means. According to Investopedia, this is a number of people who asked the government for unemployment benefits because they've lost their jobs in layoffs or business cutbacks. If they meet the requirements for getting help, the government will pay part of their income for a limited amount of time, and initial jobless claims counts those who request these benefits for the first time. The Labor Department's been keeping track of this statistic since 1967. It's a major indication of how the U.S. economy is doing, and this is the first time that initial jobless claims have ever increased by 3.28 million. The previous record in 1982 was less than 700,000. So this reflects how quickly the coronavirus pandemic has caused businesses to temporarily shut down in most American industries. The silver lining is the word temporarily. Yes, economists are expecting millions of job losses in the weeks ahead, but they also expect the economy to get better later this year as the spread of COVID-19 slows down. And U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says the surge in unemployment claims was recorded before Congress passed an economic stimulus bill, which he said would help. Workers on the front lines of this pandemic are being hailed as heroes. We told you how people in several countries are applauding healthcare providers. Now, some grocery store employees are being recognized for their risks and hard work.
We're asking everyone to work at home if possible, postpone unnecessary travel. We recognize that while many American workers can work from home, many others cannot.
We're keeping our stores open to serve the American consumer.
They're stocking up their stores like they've never stocked them before.
And creating an environment that's safe for our team members, making sure that they feel supported during this very critical time.
So here is 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and all the amazing people here at Giant working hard.
Hey, Courtney.
Hi.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Cool, yeah, I had to turn on my mic. I'm sorry.
Hey, Michelle.
Hello.
For starters, the thing about it is it's an unprecedented health crisis in this country right now. And myself, along with thousands or hundreds of thousands of grocery workers in this country, are on the front lines. And I mean, that's what we do and it's what it is. And all of a sudden, we've been thrust into the role of being what they call essential personnel.
The customers are buying $300 and $400 worth of groceries.
I just had some hand soap. I was stocking, and I couldn't even get it off of our cart and onto the shelf before people were already like ripping into boxes and taking it.
Your store opens at 6 a.m. and trust and believe, when you pull up at 6 a.m., there's people there, people shopping and wanting to know, hey, do you have this? When will you have this? When is the next delivery?
I can just say this much. I have worked for Kroger for 10 years, and this is the absolute worst I have ever seen it.
We haven't dealt with this amount of like shortages and workers too. A lot of folks are just calling out because they don't feel safe, which is totally reasonable.
I look at it at this point, it is what it is. This is my job, and the only thing I can do is just try to take an aggressive approach to wash my hands and do the social distancing and everything that they're asking us to do.
The manager asked all the workers to try to stay at least 6 feet away from each other, but we can't stay 6 feet away from the customers.
And so constantly having to tell myself, don't touch my face, washing my hands frequently, trying to keep 6 feet away from people.
We do wear gloves to protect our hands, and we sanitize our hands in between each customers.
But for the most part, man, I can really, really say my customers that they've been thanking them and saying, hey, man, thank you for coming out here, man. Thank you for all that you've been doing.
I've had quite a few customers thank me for being here and working.
And a lot of them understand what's going on right now. And we have a good relationship with most of the customers, and they understand.
And you know, that makes you feel good about it at the end of the day, that people really appreciate that what you're doing.
Retail workers have always been undervalued, underpaid. Right now, we're seeing where they are basically they're the glue right now.
And I feel for every grocery worker in the United States of America, and I know I speak for them. I mean, you know, just be cautious and be safe.
10-second trivia. In what nation, which borders Honduras and Costa Rica, would you find the largest lake in Central America? Nicaragua, Panama, El Salvador, or Guatemala? Lago de Nicaragua, or Lake Nicaragua, is located in southwest Nicaragua. Like any country, Nicaragua has its share of struggles. It's the poorest country in Central America. It has high underemployment when people have more skills than their jobs require, and there have been widespread protests against the government in recent years. But it's also rich in history, rich in beauty, and rich in activities for anyone who travels there.
Nicknamed the land of lakes and volcanoes, Nicaragua won't disappoint the outdoor lover, or the history lover, or even the poet. With the Pacific Ocean to the west and the Caribbean Sea to the east, Nicaragua packs in outdoor adventures, historic cities, and breathtaking scenery.
Well, I think Nicaragua is one of Central America's most diversely appealing countries. It's going to appeal to beachgoers and people who want outdoor adventures, but it's also a country with a lot of history. So if you go to a place like León and Granada, you're going to find history at every corner. It's also a spot for poetry lovers. This is a nation of poets. You have Rubén Darío, Alfonso Cortez, so that's a big draw for a lot of people.
A small region along the west coast called the Pacific Lowlands has a taste of all these highlights. One great draw is the Lago de Nicaragua, the largest lake in Central America. And on it, Isla Ometepe, an island boasting two large volcanoes, Volcán Maderas and Volcán Concepción. The volcanoes are great spots for hiking, but be sure to take a guide to avoid getting lost.
The volcano is the main activity, the main draw that people are going to be hiking up, but there's also kayaking, there's swimming, there's some great towns, built into the mountain. There's some coffee plantations, bird watching, lots of wildlife.
Back on the mainland, if time at the beach is on the top of your list, the coastal town of San Juan del Sur is worth a visit.
There's a real laid-back vibe there. It is an old fishing town, so it still has that vibe. It's not too overdeveloped just yet. Or, it's a great base also for seeing Nicaragua.
And while you might not think of Nicaragua as a destination for snowboarders, just outside the historic town of León is Cerro Negro, a volcano where extreme sports enthusiasts can hike up and volcano board down the ash on the slopes.
American bison, aka buffaloes, can grow to be 6.5 feet tall and weigh 2,000 pounds. So when a herd approached KTVM's Dion Broxton while he was reporting at Yellowstone National Park,
oh my God.
Oh no, he wasn't messing with it. After socially distancing himself, he shot this video of the animals that had gotten too close. Yellowstone says Broxton did the right thing. The closest I've been to bison is at Ted's Montana Grill. But if one ever got oxnoxious in person, I also would have said, bye, son, because while they may be vegetarians, it's still wise to hoof it. No one wants beef with a buffaload of trouble that could ruin your whole bova day. I'm Carl Azus. Shout out to our viewers at Melbourne High School. I have a soft spot for the Bulldogs in Melbourne, Florida. We hope you and everyone watching around the world has a happy and healthy weekend from all of us here at CNN.